Mhm. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for this opportunity. This work is really important, and as an organization, we've been committed to doing um, YPAR-like work for more than 20 plus years, and we understand the value and the power of engaging young people in the research process. So for us, this work is really meaningful and important. But I'm representing Youth Enrichment Services. We are a nonprofit organization located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and we are um, a nonprofit that really focuses on providing young people with enrichment, employment, and educational experiences, really to help them move towards their best future selves and become their own best resources. And we really hope that they are able to leverage these experiences in a way that informs their career trajectories and pathways forward. And so, a part of what our organization is committed to is trying to create enriching opportunities for students to see themselves as valuable contributors to addressing issues in their communities and their scope of influences. And so, we really try to be a scaffolding agent in helping students find their voice and find um, their pathways to addressing some of the important issues in their communities. And we have been engaging young people, as I mentioned, for quite some time, but our process has looked different over the years and has evolved. And so I can speak to that evolution if that's helpful. But I think we were understanding the power of young people's engagement in research, but we didn't have a really active process. A lot of what we were doing previously was engaging young people in more passive based research where we wanted them to take an exploratory learning course. And through that exploratory learning course, they developed project topics and they had to just kind of do secondary research. They were tasked with putting together a research project, research paper, sorry, and also putting together like a presentation that they would present before a panel of judges, and then they would be assessed based on the quality of their APA research paper and the value of their oral presentation. One of the folks that was a facilitator and a judge for us came to the final student presentations and kind of pulled me over to the side after he had observed a ton of the presentations over the course of like 3 or 4 days. And he said, hey, you're really missing an opportunity to engage students in more active based research. I really think that you should consider like the work you're doing is really great. It's wonderful. I'm excited about having your young people demonstrate their work in this way, but you're missing a unique opportunity for them to be more actively engaged in the process, collecting their own data, really being able to take on more um, research, community-based research like work. And so for me, I was not in belief initially. I was like, oh, like we've been doing this process for some years. We had students journal, we have students write their 5 and 7 page research paper, and we have the students present it. Like that's how we've done it. And we were committed to that. Um, but I think he was really pushing us. He saw something in our students, he saw something in the work we were already doing with them that could be elevated, that could be pushed. And it was just a matter of us really believing that it was possible. And so the next year, we had an idea to focus on a lead specific project where we wanted to address lead exposure in one of the local Pittsburgh communities. And we partnered with this person who approached us the previous year about the research projects. He was a PhD student at the University of Pittsburgh, working in the School of Public Health. And so we approached him and said, hey, we have this kind of bold idea. We want to approach the health department and see if they'd be interested in allowing our students to help them address lead exposure since that was like a really heightened issue at the time. And he said, this sounds great. Let's get our proposal together. Let's get a meeting with the director of the health department and let's see how they kind of receive our proposal. We went in and they were really ecstatic about the opportunity and very responsive to our requests. And from there, we continued to build out what this could look like. And we started to slowly but surely kind of build a team of people that were committed to making a unique experience for students over the summer. And so once we started to do this project, that's when our eyes just were completely open. Like we had no idea that students could do all the things that they were they were being tasked to do in this particular project. And I'll dive deeper into that, but this just still provides that context of how we got to the place of really making YPAR a central part of our work. I think after we completed our lead exposure project with students, the students were really amazed. Like they started to see themselves as researchers. We could see the change, the transformation, the excitement, the engagement. Some of these students, as I mentioned previously in our conversations, were like not doing extremely well in school, may not have performed in their science classes, were struggling, but were like the ones leading this research effort, were highly engaged in the process. So we were becoming believers of this methodology, of this approach. And like I said, we were kind of just happy with how we were engaging students in, kind of writing research reports. But this was a new way of doing the work that we always aspired for our students to do. We just didn't have the tools or the mechanisms. So this helped us really change our approach and our perspective. And Marcus Poindexter, who's the person I'm referring to, was the one that really helped us push our programming forward in a way, and it forced us to look inward, to be reflective, and to help us think about ways that we can be doing this work differently, how we can be better leveraging young people, how we can be positioning them to have more agency and power over the process. So that's how we got to the place of really having a centralized approach to YPAR and really making this an important part of our programming approach. So I know that was a lot, but I wanted to kind of give you that context to help folks understand that we too were struggling to believe that this was the right approach for our students. And we had been so beholden to a process that had worked for us for several years, and were committed to that being, what we would continue to do. But it took a person to help us really see beyond ourselves and see how our organization was missing an untapped opportunity. And so once we were kind of able to see it, then we were believers. So